lunchbox.com.
Everybody, happy Wednesday, and welcome to another edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox with me, Mike Mayo. We're a little bit late today. We're on, I don't want to say 3:05 time, but we are on 3:05 time today, and very appropriately, but it's not her fault. We welcome to the Lunchbox, besides the usual cohort, Mike Lubie Lubitz. It gives me great pleasure. A first timer on the Lunchbox. But I've known her a long time, and you might recognize her voice from other places in the terrestrial world of radio. But now she's gone on to bigger and better things too. Welcome to the Lunchbox, Gia. I'm not going to call you Gia Burns because that reminds me of a character in The Simpsons, and I just don't see you like that. But coming in from the 3:05, Gia, how are you today?
I'm wonderful. Better now. Hi.
Good. So tell people, I know you once upon a time you were on a morning show on the FM dial. You worked in the same building as Mike Lubie Lubitz.
I did.
Know her well.
Used to see him every morning, moving around, very crazed, very stressed, like we all are.
That was me.
Would you want my whole background?
No, I just want to say, what you've been up to the last couple of years. You kind of dropped off the Instagram. You had a big gram following. People loved you, in all your different places and poses. And, now I understand. I'm going to give congratulations and a big mazel tov. I understand that you are engaged finally.
So mazel tov.
Married.
That's wonderful.
Let's see the ring. Let's see it.
It took 5 years for the little brat to come around, but
So you're officially off the market, even though you've been with Nathaniel and people.
I'm not married yet. I'm kidding.
Oh God.
No, of course. No, it's amazing. Good things come to those who nag incessantly, and finally got my big moment. And now the stress of planning a wedding seems even worse than dating for 5 years and not being engaged. So
it's fun.
Lots of fun ahead.
I did it 2 years. We got married in May of 2021, my wife and I. And we did the planning during COVID, so that was so fun. So at least it's not that, and breathe a lot. Do a lot of breathing because that helps.
It is wild out there. You want to get married in Miami? It is, it's like an average person's annual salary, and that's before alcohol. That's before. Who knew? I didn't even realize. And it's like one of those things that you thought you were supposed to. Everyone expects that you should know. I had no idea.
No.
Tables, chairs, silverware, that crap is not included. You want to get a dress? You want to get a pretty dress? You have to plan a
tables
year
and
in
chairs.
advance.
I say just do it on the beach, spread some blankets, make everybody eat with their hands. That's the way I would do it.
And then everyone will hate you and be mad at you. So good luck with that.
They're going to do, are you kidding me? Please. I'm the worst judge of other people's weddings. And then now that factors in. I'm like, well, what are people going to say? I'm like, who have I become? It's psychotic, but
it's fun.
How much you can spend on a dress, or what is that like?
How much?
Is that an inappropriate question? Or
no. I mean, it's again one of those things where I'm like, why didn't I know the answers to these stupid questions? You can go anywhere from $800 to $8,000 for a dress.
On a dress,
one dress that you will wear.
Food cost, you were telling me, because I was reminiscing about my cheap wedding, and of course it was on a December 7th, day of infamy, so the marriage was doomed from the start. And although the divorce was going really fantastically until Super Bowl Sunday, but we won't get into that again. But
I want to hear that story off air.
Lovely Michelle, we're raising Natalia, but we got married at a hotel that no longer exists, and people that on the Let's Eat South Florida Facebook group, I hope you're tuning in and finding us a little bit late today. The bottom line is people turn their noses up at chains. There's something about Applebee's today. Well, I got kind of married at a chain hotel that is not known for the top of the class excellence, but Ramada Inn on Galt Ocean Mile, it did the trick, and they had a really good food and beverage director and a good food and beverage program, and we had a fantastic time with 120 people, and I think we didn't spend more than like 30,000 on the whole affair.
Yeah, but how long ago is that?
Probably is somewhere between the Mesozoic and Paleozoic ages. No, it's the year 2002. I've blacked
We
it
had
out.
just discovered fire. Things were going really well.
At wheel.
Actually, that was the post 9/11 travel slump. So maybe we did get a little break that things were kind of slowing down. So
we're at the opposite end of that turn, where things feel like they are getting back to the way they were a few years ago. And things are obviously more expensive nowadays. Like, I'm not going to gatekeep kind of intel. Like, you want to get married in Miami before alcohol, before the specifics, it's $25K. That's what those are the sorts of places that
What's funny is, so our wedding was in Homestead, and people make fun of us because it's far. It's really like a destination wedding at home. Like literally you had to go away, but
you had to fill the car.
Well, exactly. But it's for that reason. Anywhere from Broward to Miami, you're at 20 something thousand, and that's not the wedding. That's just the place. Like we found a much more affordable deal, and it had the farm style barn thing.
Were there mud pits or burst pipes, or did something happen at the wedding? I forget what the story
hotel
was.
The Friday night. I'll give you, so just so you know, the yours can't be worse. And it ended up going well. It wasn't the wedding, thank God. The Friday night we were at the rehearsal dinner party thing, and my father-in-law, who I'm really close with, we get along, and he likes to joke around, turns to me and he's like, our friends are at the hotel, the pipe burst. And I'm like, okay, you're such a jerk. Like, that's not nice. Don't do that to me. Because I was stressing out. I was like husband to be groom and wedding planner. Like, my wife works even more hours than I do. So I just did everything just so she wouldn't have to. So I'm like, don't do that. You know how stressed I am. And he knows how I get. And he's like, I'm being serious. I'm like, so I called them, and they're like, oh yeah, the main pipe burst. There's no water.
There's no water in the hotel before a wedding when everybody has to get
next day. You didn't take showers, and you had 10 women who needed to have makeup done in the room. It was a good time. It ended up working out. We had a great wedding. Thank God the wedding was seamless. But yeah, we looked into Miami, but it was so insane. It was like, all right, Homestead, here we come.
Homestead did the trick. But did you have to call your own sponsor in the morning show, the public adjuster, to help with the burst pipe at the hotel? Or actually, at that point, it's just a foregone thing. Hey, so love is in the air. You are planning a wedding. You don't know exactly the date or the location.
You're coming, if that's your next question.
Oh, no, I wasn't angling for an invite. I do angle for all kinds of freebies. But no, what I was wondering is, because you were mentioning that Valentine's Day, it was a lonely hearts day for me, because I'm just a sad sack who's a solo guy, and Lubie's wife is traveling on business. She's in India, so he was a bachelor for Valentine's Day. That was sad. But I understand. Yeah, no, I understand. You did the Valentine's Day the way I used to like to do it, which is just stay at home and cook a nice romantic meal. Can you tell us what happened? How did that turn out?
It turned out beautifully. I've been doing it for years. Even pre-COVID, I was, like, screw this. Why are we going to do what everybody else does and sit and whine and moan about reservations and waiting and, all of the stereotypes that go in with going out for Thanksgiving, for Valentine's. And so I started making beef Wellington a few years ago. And I, did it the sexy way. I went to Whole Foods. I got the highest quality meat there that I could find. And it was good, but I'm trying to get off red meat lately. So I started thinking of alternatives. I'm like, oh, salmon Wellington. And it came out.
Salmon Wellington.
Oh, interesting.
Salmon and croûte. Like, you wrapped it in puff pastry, right?
I wrapped it in puff pastry. And at first I thought it was going to be the same thing. You're just swapping out, salmon for beef, but it's a very different recipe. So you're taking the puff pastry and you're rolling it out, and with the salmon you peel the skin off, and it's a mixture of some lemon zest with just 1 tablespoon of melted butter and Dijon mustard. Mix it together, spread it on top of the salmon, saute a little bit of spinach with garlic and pepper and salt, just put that on top, and you've got 2 layers. Wrap it in, to the puff pastry, egg wash, slice it, shove it in the oven for 25 minutes, and it was beautiful.
Wait, so
Wow.
there's no dill or any kind of like
No dough.
tarragon or creams or anything like
No.
that involved? This is just butter, lemon zest. Sounds simple. Sounds pretty
With
good. Where do you get your recipes? Because I usually just kind of wing it and just come up with my own stuff.
I
Which
make my own
some,
adjustments.
yeah.
At times I do, but usually I just think of things, I Google them. I have a folder on my computer. It just says I make food. I checked the other day. I think I have 3,200 recipes
Oh,
that I've
wow.
been collecting over the past 10, 12 years.
Good for you.
Let me
And
just do some quick math because if there's 365 days in a year, it means you could basically make a different recipe every day for 10 almost like 8 years or 9 years, and then if you do it for each meal every day, it would still be 3 years. That's a lot of recipes there.
yeah, and then I'll turn into like a social pariah that never leaves the house because I'm just stuck inside cooking all the time. But I mean, to be fair, I must have 40 plus recipes for different types of biscuits, cake, some like chocolate cakes, which I ended up doing for dessert
I didn't know you
actually.
bake. You don't strike me
Wow,
as a
this is
baker. I
fantastic.
don't know
Everyone always
why.
says that. Well, I was doing radio in Philadelphia for a couple of years, and I'm mid-20s, and I just started cooking one day. I just had nothing to do. I mean, when you do a morning show, you get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, you're usually home by 12:30, and everyone's at work, and you have nothing to do except for
Well,
watch TV.
speaking
So
of Philadelphia, our usual co-host Jeff Defo DeForest, longtime sportscaster, who I'm sure you probably ran into the building
Crossing
a couple times.
impulses.
definitely.
But if he was in Philadelphia, he wouldn't start cooking. He'd just run over to Parks Racetrack and just start gambling and plunging his guts out. Which is he's close to there now, but he's not at the racetrack. He's at the Borgata Hotel in Atlantic City,
Ooh.
betting on the races at Parks and all the other racetracks going. But no, maybe Defo would have saved a lot more money and aggravation over his long life if he had just been like you and taken up the cooking in the middle of the day instead of the gambling.
One of them, it has different payoffs in different ways. I mean, would I take some cash or, half a dozen biscuits? I think I take the
I
cash.
want the biscuits.
That's where we differ.
At this point in my life.
But that was the first thing that I started baking. The first thing I ever made, it was biscuits. And
Oh,
whenever I
wow.
had friends that came to visit, they would always get a basket of biscuits.
A
Any of my
basket of
friends that were
biscuits. That
basket of
sounds
biscuits.
do you do the cheddar biscuits like the Red Lobster
Cheddar
style?
Bay.
I've done the cheddar Red Lobster
Good.
biscuits, which no matter what you put in them are never gonna be as good as the restaurant,
Right.
unfortunately.
True.
Now, one
Um,
of our sponsors, Even Keel Fish Shack up in Lauderdale by the Sea, they do their version. Brad does a cheddar, I think it's a jalapeno cheddar biscuit that
ooh.
it's also he's trying to, pay homage to the Red Lobster. It comes pretty darn close because they're very talented high-end chefs and bakers. So
I mean, I've done what they do. I've done what they've tried to do with, like, the melted butter, and then you brush it over the top because it turns out more like a drop biscuit, and then the ones that Red Lobster has,
wait,
they're
what's a drop
clearly
biscuit? These now you're using these
Yeah,
technical
she's
terms
like
that
a
Mr.
biscuit
Foodie doesn't
connoisseur. She's
even
impressive.
know.
it's
Is that
super
something you could
easy.
also double as a hockey puck so you could drop it in the middle of center ice?
You basically just take a spoon and go right on
Ah,
the pan. There's no shaping, there's no biscuit cutter or anything like that.
I like having Gia around because she's bringing like the home
I
cooking,
This is
the
amazing.
the
We talk
Becky Home
food,
Eckie angle to the
but she's
lunchbox,
talking
which
recipes and cooking, and I'm like, we don't do any of this. I'm like,
Next time I
no.
see you guys, I'll bring you some real biscuits. I mean, hey, I baked once for you, Mayo. I brought some
Oh,
cookies
right.
over
You
to the
brought
house.
over one of my parties, which now I forget exactly what you brought over. All I know is that the container which you brought it in, I had it at my house for like over a year
I
because
remember
I
that.
never saw you again. Do I still have it? I
No,
can't.
you gave it back to me. It was like a year later, like, "I've got your Tupperware."
And I gotta give props to Gia and now her fiance
I know, it
Nathaniel,
sounds so
uh,
weird to say.
I think it's
because
cool.
they're my good luck charms. Whenever they show up and we hang out, and it's all too rare and infrequently these days. But I think one of the last times I saw her, we did a trip near me in my neighborhood to the Dania High Life Fronton, now
That's
called the
right.
Casino. And it was one of those nights where they said it was going to be the last night ever of High Life. They lied because now they have High Life is back and they do have betting on it. And it's a big draw every time they actually have the live High Life matches. And this must have been last November, or was it the November before? I can't even remember anymore. My
It
time
wasn't
is
it was Oh my God. It was November of 21.
Was it 21? No, I don't. That can't. That's well. You know what? It might be true. Time is
Oh,
melting. But no. And then I was up in the poker room before we went down to the highlight matches, and I scored a quick I turned 100 into like 550 in like no time flat, and it
yeah,
was
you
like
wiped out one of my friends. I remember. He was very upset.
no mercy.
He sat at the table so arrogant, and an hour later I came up and he looked so dejected. I'm like, oh, Mayo, of course. I remember that
So
very well.
that's it. One of our, we have the thread of the chat line going, and one of our commenters used the line I used before the show that you are in the closet. You can come out of the closet now. No, it's just that's where. So you do a lot of voiceover work, right?
I do. Yeah, that's why I'm in my closet. I mean, this is the best space in my place for that kind of work. When you're doing, I mean, I take a lot of workshops, classes. I have, I work with clients. I do sessions remotely, with studios, in Miami, around the country. And this is the best possible acoustically treated space that I could get. And it's
So,
been amazing.
and tell us a little bit. Are now embarked on this like voiceover career where you voice like some famous cartoon characters in Japan. Can you just square me away on this? Because
Okay.
and can you do it in the voice of the character? And it
So
probably sounds a lot like Lubie, right?
Yeah, I'm sure. This is a cartoonish voice, yes.
not so bad, it's all right. You're doing okay. No, Anpanman sounds more like this. So Anpanman is the most popular Japanese children's TV franchise in all of Asia. Actually, the group BTS, the Korean boy band, they
Yeah.
wrote a song called Anpanman. That was a big deal. Anpanman is, if you want to Google it, it's Anpanman, and it is. I
one
play
of the
the main
main
character. I play Anpanman.
Oh, wow.
So wait, BTS has written a song about you.
You're like
This
the
is
biggest group in the world right
I
now.
wish I could say that they wrote about me personally, but they wrote it about the character. So
This is a
Anpanman
character you voiced.
Anpanman has been around since, if I'm off the top of my head, I believe since the 80s,
Okay.
and is a cartoon series that started as a comic book that became it still continues on to be a long running cartoon series for small children and also additional films. And it is one of the most beautiful things that I've ever had the privilege to work on. And Anpanman is a superhero that it has a head that is made out of a Japanese bread bun, which they call anpan. So
It sounds like a
inside,
superhero for me.
it's
Yeah,
super, I mean, it's adorable. And all of the characters that surround Anpanman are food based. So
oh,
you'll
that
get
is a show right up my alley.
it's
We're
beautiful.
gonna
And
have to. Yeah. Oh my
so
goodness.
yeah, and the cool part is with him, he's a superhero. He wants nothing more than to help those around him and spread, good cheer and spirits to people that are in
What
trouble.
is his superpower?
The bread, his head.
The
His head
the
is his
the
superpower.
bread head.
The
That's a
bread
bread.
head is his
The bread head.
superpower.
What? It just expands. You could put it in an oven and it rises with the yeast, or what? What
He
is?
can feed people. So like if he's flying, he can fly and he can punch and he can kick, and he's got his team of people around him that help. So when somebody is in trouble and they're sad or they're hungry, he can actually rip off a piece of his head and give it to people to eat and feel better. But with that, he tends to lose power. So he's got to bake a
To
new head.
balance.
I know this sounds insane. And when you watch it the first
know, this
time, it's
sounds
very
creative.
hard to understand. But
Very creative.
people in Asian
So
culture,
you do the script in English and they redub it in Japanese,
so
or this is
no, it's the opposite. So the script is in Japanese. We have adapters that will take it and translate it from Japanese to English, and then I get the English script, go into the studio, and we do, a whole. And they always want it to be done in one take. It doesn't always work like that. And you don't always get to watch the full TV show or film. When you do that kind of work, you really only see the scenes that are assigned to you. So, you have to work with what you've got. And, the more I've done so far, 10 of these films over the past couple of
Wow.
years.
Oh, wow.
And, as time goes by and certainly because Ampamon's been around for so long, you get to understand what this is, what it means to people, certainly people in Asia, and what it could mean to the United States. So I take, great pride and passion in that. And, I try to put that into the work.
Well,
And
that's
it's
awesome.
airing. I mean, there's 10 movies that are available now to watch on Tubi.
Oh, they
Oh,
Tubi?
nice.
Okay, I was gonna say, can
Yeah,
you
and
stream
Tubi is
them
a
in
free
this country?
streaming service, yeah. I
Okay,
mean, you have to watch a
excellent.
couple ads here and there, but
Gia, do you know what my superpower is?
food reviewing.
No.
I can
Eating like a
down. I can eat food like cram a whole slice of pizza in my mouth.
Look at his
Nice.
mouth. Look how big his bite is. He's not a human being. I'm still wondering. We call him a human. I'm wondering what animal he really is and just has skin around it, because I've never seen a person eat the way he eats. It's actually both scary and impressive.
I actually, can I say this? It's a little warm in here. Like that really does it for me.
I get turned on.
Oh, you like those mukbang? Do you watch those mukbang videos? Do you know?
No, I don't know about this. Enlighten me, please.
Oh my God.
Oh, are these those pretty girls that just eat without speaking? I've heard of these.
They're called mukbang videos. Out there in the audience, if you want to, and Steve Dickstein, my guy, Best of Del Rey, Stephen Dickstein, turned me on to him. Well, Howard Stern always talks about him too. But mukbang, MUKBANG videos, if you just Google that, there are these pretty Asian women that sit with these bowls of disgusting items. They could be like sausages or noodle soups, and they just cram, I'd say, about 5,000 calories in their mouths nonstop without talking, with just chewing. And some people get very turned on by this.
Was it ASMR?
I kind of get turned on by it, but just for the eating and just the consumption. It's very, I mean, you got to check it out. It's wild.
And these are like young, attractive,
Yes,
slender.
they're not like me. They're the antithesis of Mayo. And so,
how are they making money from this? Are people giving donations while they watch them eat?
It's like anything else on the interwebs. If you get enough followers and viewers, somebody's advertisers are going to pay you money. So
on my OnlyFans.
I was just going to say OnlyFans. Someone's got to be doing this on OnlyFans, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, but these mukbang videos, some of them are on YouTube and they get like, millions of views, and then they get advertising too. I don't know. It's a very strange world we live in nowadays. It used to take talent and some training, and now all you got to do is just be able to cram like duck's feet in your mouth. They really do with some gross items, but again, that's me being a ugly American, culturally in Asia. The duck's feet are very delicious.
I'm into this idea. I'm going to check it out when we're done. Like just to.
Oh yeah, mukbang videos. It's hilarious and repulsive, and also maybe a little bit exciting at the same time.
There's somebody who's into that for more.
Oh yeah, it's
now we know, Mayo.
Maybe that's what I'm training for. Maybe that is my next big thing.
Have you ever done an eating contest before?
Well, I you know what? They issued me a challenge right here on the Lunchbox last July 4th, or before July 4th.
You failed miserably.
Instead of, the Nathan's hot dog eating contest is the famous one that Joey Chestnut somehow devours 70-something hot dogs in 10 minutes. And he separates the buns from the hot dogs and dunks it in the water and throws it down. They gave me a challenge. Could I eat 7 hot dogs in 10 minutes, but I would not disassemble them or dunk them in water. I would just eat whole hot dogs.
Oh, you can't do that.
No, well, I tried, and I made my fatal flaw. I failed miserably, and the first couple went down quickly. And I think my technique has gotten better now, although I might choke and die on the air.
Practicing at home?
I did it at home. I grilled up 7 Nathan's Frankfurters. My fatal flaw was, instead of just getting the cheapest, flimsiest
Wonder
Bread buns, the Wonder Bread buns, I got the Martin's potato
buns.
And the potato buns it sunk me. And
that's why people like them, though. They're thick, they're breadier.
All wrong. And
I can tell you right now.
I ended up dying at 5. I just couldn't get any other bites in me.
I know exactly what you did wrong. You try to do it so you can enjoy what you were doing. Those guys, when they're sitting there dunking, they're not dunking buns in water at home. I mean, because they enjoy it. They're doing it. You got to get psychologically ready. You didn't psych yourself up enough.
I didn't train. It was a miserable failure. We'll probably do it again, because these guys, when they issue me a challenge and a bet, I just can't help myself.
Gia's got me excited. I actually believe in you now. I believed in you then, and you made me look like a jerk. So I'll believe in you once again. Gia's really it inspired me. So we're gonna do it again, and we'll make sure you train and like you're prepped this time.
I don't know. Did you see me lately? I don't know if I should be doing this anymore. I gotta go the other direction. I think maybe we should do a fasting challenge. Maybe say, can Mayo do some of this like intermittent fasting? And like some people now are going like 10 days without food. I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that, but maybe we should go in that direction.
Why are you trying to find different ways to die?
Some self-destructive and
Yeah, this doesn't sound psychologically healthy.
No, do you think I'm psychologically How long have you known me, Gia? Am I psychologically healthy? No.
That
I'll do
will
anything for my art, and I consider myself an artist. I'm not just no longer a journalist. I am I don't even know what I am anymore, but I do know this. When I want the best products and not to just cram it in my mouth in 2 seconds, but when I want to enjoy a lovely meal at home, now I'll have to cook
She
it
has some
myself. But
experience.
Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, we welcome them aboard as new sponsors of the Lunchbox, and I'm so happy to have them aboard because I've been a long time customer. I've been going there for over 3 decades. That's hard to believe. It's at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood. You know it. It's got the big chicken on the roof. Have you been there, Gia? Have you been to Delaware Seafood?
I know that chicken.
Oh, yeah, everyone knows that chicken, especially if you've been to the Hard Rock or right across from the original Seminole Classic Casino, the old bingo hall. That's where Delaware Seafood Market has been for ages, since 1951. It's been family owned for over 70 years. It's the home of freshness. It's the place to go for the greatest and freshest of poultry, meats, and of course their unbelievable selection of fish and seafood. They've got it all in there. The Key West pink shrimp, the grouper, snapper. If you go on their website at delawarechicken.com, you will see the daily updates of the latest catch, what their offerings of the day. And of course, they always have this time of year the fresh Florida stone crab claws available in all sizes. And again, they are open 7 days, and you can call up for they'll do the curbside pickup, so you don't even have to go into the store if you're in a rush or have some sort of sensitivities and you want to just kind of stay in your car. They will do that for you. Just give them a call at 954-983-6831. That's 983-6831. That's delawarechicken.com. Check out all their latest offerings along with the weekly circular and specials. We love Delaware. Tell them that Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you.
So, okay, so we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll definitely talk to Gia much more about many more things. But I'm not going to lie, here on the chat, Andy's sort of dissected it. You're not a Joey Chestnut. I don't know what you are. And
not volume and just keep going. I'm a one-bite wonder.
You're a sprinter.
I'm the Dexy's Midnight Runners of food guys, because I'm the one-hit wonders. I'm a one-bite wonder. It's just amazing.
You're a lot of quantity. You're not long distance and endurance, but we will endure when we get back here. More of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox with the tremendous, newly engaged Gia Burns here on South Florida Live.
People come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. You go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the black and grilled wings, and of course the kitchens are open late. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent. Looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more? Go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, for tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6. The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Hey, it's Mike Mayo. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a good bagel with Nova or some matzo ball soup, homemade knishes, or a great deli pastrami sandwich on rye, you know where I go? Grandpa's Cafe in Dania Beach. It's been around a long time, an institution, but a little over a year ago, a pair of New Yorkers came in, bought it, and refurbished the place. It's beautiful, and they are now serving great breakfast, brunch, lunch. They've got the omelets, they've got eggs Benedict, they've got all kinds of great baked goods like rugelach. Grandpa's is just off Federal Highway on Southwest 1st Street in Dania Beach. It's open 7 days. Go in there, tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks, just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally, and they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Go in there on a Wednesday. They got buy one, get one on cheesesteaks from 5 to 8 p.m. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. We're back on the Lunchbox with fill-in guest host Gia, and I just got a text from our wayward Defo. He is boarding a plane in Atlantic City, so apparently he did not win enough money to stay there permanently or go to Vegas. Sometimes we get worried if he banks a big score, he might not show up here for a few more weeks, but he'll be back on the show tomorrow. And he sent the picture, of course, the wheelchair line. He loves to bet on the over-under. Will there be more than 10 wheelchairs getting on the plane or not from Atlantic City back to, I guess he goes to Palm Beach and not Fort Lauderdale. It's one of these charter flights, these junkets. And so he'll be back tomorrow. He also sent me some pictures, it looks like, from last night's Valentine's Day meal at one of his favorite places, that Italian joint, Cafe Ebola. Okay, no, it's not Cafe Ebola. Chef Vola's. He just loves raving about that place. Meanwhile, Gia made her home-cooked the salmon Wellington. What else? What were the side dishes, and were there desserts, or they're just quickly?
Yeah, there was a dessert. So I did the salmon Wellington accompanied by some roasted broccoli, and I did rosemary mashed potatoes. So I used a couple pounds of the gold potatoes, sliced those up, boiled them, mashed them. Then I threw in, there's a part of this is going to be controversial. But I roasted a head of garlic with olive oil and salt and pepper, put that in the oven. Then I squeezed out the cloves directly into the mash and just a little bit of butter, rosemary, and then I threw in oat milk to
oat milk. Oh
liquefy
no!
it a bit. You know what? Shut your mouth. It came out fabulous, and you cannot tell the difference. I don't keep dairy milk in the house anymore, and I've been exclusively oat milk for a couple of years now.
Is that a thing? Is it a health thing? Do you have some sort of are you lactose intolerant?
No, I'm not lactose intolerant. I grew up in a 2% home, so I've always been a 2% person. But I don't know. I was drinking almond milk for a while because I thought it would be a nice health alternative. Then I realized the environmental implications of almond milk. Apparently, it takes a gallon of water just to make 1 cup of almond milk.
Oh,
I was like, well, I can't participate in this. So then I read about oat milk. I'm like, okay, let me try this. It doesn't have any taste. It has like a nice, like smooth liquidity. I'm like, let's just do that. And
I like the descriptions.
Texture.
And look at you. I admire you for your being eco-conscious. My daughter, she has a lot of these iced latte drinks from Starbucks and various local coffee
They
shops. And
charge a
her
fortune for
preferred
milk
thing
alternative.
is her preferred creamy substance is the Oatly oat milk. So I
Ooh,
can't.
no, Oatly. They put so much sugar in there, and
Oh,
they
all
have
right,
this
and maybe
gum
not Oatly.
additive.
Whatever she says, oat milk, and I don't know what the various places use. I know one of them used to use Oatly. So, but yeah, high in the sugars and fructose. So to be avoided.
Your bigger coffee chains charge a ridiculous markup for milk alternative, and I remember maybe a year ago, do you know who James Cromwell is, the actor?
Yeah,
He
that'll do, pig.
Exactly. He's a huge
Yes. Hey,
environmentalist. He got arrested, I believe it was in New York,
for
for
making love to a pig? Oh, no, I'm
no.
sorry. Did
Do you know, by the way, that movie, Babe, is what got him started on his environmental
I'm
activism, his
sure it did.
veganism, all of it.
Very
Him
sensitive,
and
yeah.
Ed Begley Jr. But he got arrested at the largest coffee chain in the United States for super gluing his hand to the counter to protest the upcharge in milk alternatives.
Why, was that with Ben Affleck at Dunkin'? Oh, wait, we're allowed to say it. They're not our sponsors. I don't care. I'm not gonna get Starbucks signed up anytime soon.
That's the radio girl in me. It's like, you never know. Don't say the sponsor.
Exactly.
I've been yelled at enough times about that.
Um,
A large coffee chain.
Hey, so
The milk alternative has been welcomed, and I know it's a controversial thing, and I can already see in the comments, they're like, "I don't like that." But for me, I can't taste the difference. I mean, the same thing with like the
It's fine.
Impossible and Beyond Burgers. I make those at home. I would dare anybody to come to my house and eat my burger and
no,
tell me if it's real meat or not.
last week we did a Visit Lauderdale segment with
Place you
a
like,
very
you guys,
talented
actually.
chef up in Pompano Beach, Sam Woods, and he has his place, The Rabbit Hole, and he's doing all kinds of vegan comfort food. So he's using the Impossible meat. He's making meatballs, like Korean meatballs, and he makes these chicken wings out of this product. I forgot the name, but it's like some
Oh,
European
jeez,
product,
I have to
and it
remember
has
this.
the exact same texture and pull like chicken. It was great.
That was
Uh,
really
and then he had these like shrimp that was made out of a root vegetable from East Asia,
Ooh.
and he's doing some terrific stuff. So you dabble in the veganism side of the street, and
I
you
mean,
like.
clearly I eat fish, I eat chicken. I stay away from pork actually because of the movie Babe.
Oh wow,
Because of
okay.
my personal love of pigs, and I
Piggy.
want to
Wife said,
own I have a dream. I have a real dream of owning a baby pig one day and raising it in my home.
Does Nathaniel
okay.
know this?
Well, but the
Did
pet ones, because they have
Nathaniel know this? And
pets.
okay, that's good.
You can do there are places where you can get mini pigs, again, a controversial topic, and we had a friend that adopted a micro pig that
Micro
grew to
pig.
500 pounds. So, I mean,
That
people do
doesn't sound.
misrepresent
That
this.
sounds like a defective micro
Oh,
pig.
Yeah,
that's
I'm in a 1,100 square foot apartment. There's no place
yeah.
in this, here for a pig. But one day
One day.
I will have it.
It's Miami. Anything goes. You
I
could
know
put
exactly. The rules don't
roosters in the
apply here.
backyard. You can,
Just look
why are
the
you
other
making a
way.
face, Lubie? Did I offend people in Miami or?
No. I was saying Miami's insane. Like the fact
Oh,
that
okay, good. Okay, I thought you were afraid that I was offending our Miami sponsors. But was there any dessert that you made?
Yes. Originally I was gonna make a 2-layer cake that's called a Beatty cake from Ina Garten, which I've made in the past, and just time wise and calorie wise, I'm like, I'm not gonna make a 2-layer cake on Valentine's Day. It's just insane. So I started Googling small cakes for 2 people, and I found one that I could do with you know what it reminded me of? Like the Entenmann's, the chocolate fudge cake
Yeah, I
that
love
you
that.
can buy.
Yeah,
Exactly. It was the similar size, and I just baked the cake, and I made it was,
Katie.
simple stuff. It was just egg and flour, cocoa powder, whatever. And then I just made like a quick frosting on the stovetop with more butter, of course,
How are you going to
powdered
afford a
sugar.
wedding if you use actual eggs anymore? Because the eggs are going to just break the bank.
I don't know. Okay, like, I've been reading about this egg thing, and I don't know what people are paying for eggs, and maybe I'm just a brat. I went
Mayo,
to Trader Joe's on Sunday. I got a dozen large brown eggs, cage free, for $4.99.
Okay, that's
And
reasonable because now at Publix, like their just generic brand is like $5.25 for just a dozen large
But
eggs. And
everyone, I feel like, I mean, everyone, the eggs, the eggs, the eggs. I mean, are people running around paying like $15 for a carton of eggs?
No, but at Publix at one point for the Eggland's Best, just like a dozen were going for like $6.25, and the extra large were going for $7.
Mayo
That
may
was
say
at
it's
its peak.
okay, but that's
I
the
made
thing.
a big deal, and my
Mayo.
mom, she lives with me now, and she eats like an egg every morning for breakfast. But now we've weaned her off that habit because it was breaking the bank, and now she's back to a 1-day oatmeal and then 1-day egg. So that's kind of helping things out in the
You
Mayo
know what I also do,
household.
and it's cheaper than a dozen eggs? I use the egg alternative.
Yeah, we're not going to be doing that. We can't be upsetting her system at
You
90. She
don't
is set in her ways.
Wait
It's not
on
about
that.
me.
How
It's
does
not
she eat
about
the
me.
egg? How does she eat the egg?
With her mouth.
Scrambled? Is it an omelet? Is it fried?
Her aide prepares a very, very fluffily whisked scrambled egg, and it's on a bun, a scrambled egg kind of sandwich.
I know.
Yeah, and she
You're
has
not
a
gonna
little
know
bit of
the
fruit
difference.
salad.
She probably wouldn't know the
All right,
difference.
well, we're
She
not going to
wouldn't know.
switch.
I do this at
Oh,
home.
she would know the difference, and she listens every day. She's going to listen. She'll say, "Don't go changing anything. My
Mrs.
stomach
Mayo,
is
you're not
very,
gonna know the difference.
very
Trust me.
sensitive. I don't like changing anything, Michael." So
Mrs. Mayo, it's fine. You're gonna save the cholesterol. You get the protein. It doesn't matter.
she's
It
90.
saves
She
the
doesn't give a
joy.
rat's patootie about
Fair enough.
cholesterol anymore.
Fair enough.
She can eat whatever she wants whenever she wants. That's what I tell her now. Whatever
And look, if
makes you
anyone's going
happy,
for
now.
cheaper eggs or in Trader Joe's, I've found a great deal of solace with their eggs amongst other things.
Yeah. Hey, what did I want to say? Oh, we're probably going to take another break, but in a minute, I did want to talk about like this pizza that I devoured. It was my remnants from my meal yesterday at the Esposito's New York Pizza in Davie, which has been a hot topic on the Let's Eat group, and also was featured, not featured. I don't know what the spotlighted recently on the Channel 10's Dirty Dining segment, which is one place that no restaurant ever wants to be featured. But we had an interesting discussion yesterday, and we talked about it on the show yesterday. But again, this owner of the place, and it's been around for almost 20 years, and this was the first time they got dinged, and they got shut because they had a roach problem, and first time they've ever been shut, he says, for roaches, and confirmed it by, as far as I could go back on the state inspection system, it checks out. And I went in there for lunch yesterday because he posted this kind of explanation apology on the Let's Eat group yesterday. And I just wanted to have a chat with him, and he gave me a tour of the kitchen, and he showed me where the problem was and what they did to rectify it. It was spotless in there. I mean, he prides himself. Here's the irony alert. I love these details. Before he got into the restaurant business and moved down here, he was originally from Long Island, and he had a pest control company in Long Island. So he knows, and he takes the cleanliness and taking it seriously about doing proper measures to keep the bugs at bay. And it's a losing battle here in South Florida. But his main issue was it right? It's one thing if it's a chronic violator that's been shut 3 times in the last year, and then you could go after them. Then maybe they're fair game for a segment like that. But if it's your first time and you're embarrassed enough, and then you show up with a camera crew 2 days later, and you're skulking around in the back they had an open door to the kitchen, so he was shooting his B-roll first before trying to get comment, and that just set off this guy. And he didn't handle it well. He admits it. He basically, when he was confronted by Jeff, and I don't know if you've seen this clip, Gia, it kind of went a little bit viral, but when Jeff Weinzier said, "Why do you have roaches in your kitchen?" and his response was, "Your mother has roaches."
That's a New Yorker.
That's a New Yorker, that's right. And as bad as that is, and as inappropriate it is, and as juvenile it is, it just cracked me up every time I see that. It just makes me laugh because it is such a New York playground thing.
100%.
Anyway, I went in, and I we had like 500 comments on this post yesterday, and to me, the comment that tickled me the most was, "But how's the pizza?" And that was the thing that I was wondering. So I went in there yesterday and I ordered. They have 2 styles there. They have this coal-fired pizza, and then he has also a different oven that's like the traditional New York pizza slice, like a New York deck oven. So you have your choice when you go there. Of course, me being the gambling gourmet and lunchbox Mike, and I ordered one of each, and I paid for it because I didn't want any favoritism there. And basically, I sampled it. We had a nice chat, and he's agreed to come on the show tomorrow, and as has Jeff Weinzier is going to come on the show tomorrow. And they're not going to be on the same segment. I'm not going to do one of those, pitting them against
Why
each other.
not? No, come on. Set it up.
Well, I mean,
you want people to watch this thing, don't you?
No, but it's like I don't want to have anybody, I don't know. We'll see. If Joe agrees to stay on when Jeff comes on, but I wanted each to give their point of view inside of the story, and I want to ask Jeff, look, this has become a big popular feature, and the feeling among restaurant people is that sometimes he sensationalizes things, sometimes he might not be fair, because if it's a first offense, how do you contextualize something? And why do you have to go after somebody like that? Is he compelled to have one a week? And if that's the only place that gets shut down that week, it doesn't matter if it's their first offense in 20 years, he's still going to go for it. Those are the kind of things that I'm curious about. Again, because I'm a former journalist, and when I was a critic, I would have to look up health inspection records, and some places I just wouldn't review if I thought they weren't up to snuff. And but I wouldn't come in with a camera crew and basically shove it in their face and embarrass them, or not again. It's not what Jeff didn't ding them. It was the health department that shut them down. He didn't create anything. It's just that what do you do? What's the proper way to handle it in the aftermath? And the owner obviously flubbed it, and now he's doing damage control. But Jeff, let's talk journalism and what's fair and what's sensationalism, and what are you doing just for ratings and clicks? And it's these are all fair game issues, I think.
Let me ask you. You've been doing journalism for a long time. You've been doing this for a while. Have you?
Well, I'm not a journalist anymore. I am an artist, and I suffer for my art. But go ahead.
Have you ever seen in any other city, or heard of in any other city, the dirty dining thing? Because I've never, and I've lived in a few places. I'd never noticed it anywhere else.
Apparently, in this long string yesterday, somebody was mentioning that there's a guy in Houston. I forgot the guy's name, but he was famous. He would come in, and like places that got dinged, he would do the same thing. I don't know what they called the segment, but his trademark line, according to this commenter yesterday, was when he'd go in the ice machine, and the ice machines are notorious for having mold and not being cleaned out properly. And his line was, "There's sludge in the ice machine." Oh. So apparently it is a thing in some markets. I do give credit to Jeff for this, because after finally just spotlighting the dirty places, now he also spotlights the places, he calls it Clean Plate Charlie, the places that get 100% perfect score with no violations, which I think is only fair. So we'll talk more about this tomorrow. I know it's been a hot topic. But meanwhile, the pizza, that was the pizza. I preferred the coal oven. I think both of them were pretty good. For some reason, the regular New York style came out a little bit salty, and he said they used the same cheese on both. I got a margarita on the coal-fired and a regular like New York cheese pie on the other. And I don't know if it was the sauce. He said it was the dough. They use different doughs for the different pies.
You have to, don't you?
Yeah, and the whatever reason it was, it just hit me a little salty. And I had him taste the slice, and he said, "Yeah, maybe." But just to me, the coal-fired hit perfectly, and I would recommend it. People, you got to make your own decisions. But to me, bugs, a one-time bug offense is not a deal breaker. If you see lots and lots of rats, that might be a deal breaker. We talked about this yesterday. We don't want to gross everybody out on the lunchbox today.
I wish you hadn't said that, though, about the New York pizza. I've been living in South Florida for 6 years, and I've yet to find a reasonable equivalent to New York style pizza.
You mean like a slice joint?
Yeah.
Oh, you're
talking. And maybe in Dade it's different. I mean, even when I lived in Broward, there was one place that did eventually close that I would go to, and it was the closest that I could get. Down here, I live on South Beach, and I order from a place called Masters. It's good, not great, but it does the trick. It's not what I can get at home, but I miss that.
The New York style slices, I mean, first of all, one of our sponsors is the Pizza Spot,
they do a good
and
job.
they're New Haven, but it's just good pizza.
Oh,
and
really?
It's not his sauces. He uses these great California tomatoes. Our friend Wade over at Pizza Spot. And speaking of New Haven pizza, that's become a big thing. And the Frank Pepe's just opened in Plantation.
I heard about that in Plantation.
Yeah, and that's very thin and
Solid.
cracker-like and crispy. Wade's is more chewy, and he really proofs his dough, and he takes great pride. It's a thin pie, and it can come out very stiff if you don't have it with too many toppings. But you got Pepe's now, you got the pizza spot in Fort Lauderdale, and tonight up in Delray, the official grand opening. It's been open almost a year, but they're having an official grand opening celebration at this place called Abitz. So I'm going up there because become a little bit friendly with the owners through the Best of Delray app. They want to do a lunchbox show up there. I don't know if we could get you to travel up there one day, Lubie, because
They don't
they're open for lunch again.
Okay.
So they've got more expanded hours. But I was going to go first to Abitz, and then another big event tonight up in Delray Beach. I'm going to see Dickstein and crew. It's a new fancy like French Vietnamese restaurant called Le Colonial. It's
That's
in this
cool.
brand new Atlantic Crossings complex. It's like a $300 million condo retail complex that's right there on Atlantic Avenue near the beach. But this restaurant, I guess it started in Chicago, and then they had a branch in New York for a while on 57th Street, but that shut down. Le Colonial, and high-end French Vietnamese. And it's they have now 5 locations around the country. This is the 5th one opening up. Tonight is the kind of VIP party. It's opening to the public tomorrow. So that's the news and notes from Delray. I'm looking forward to going to that because hey, it's free food, and that's part of my game now. But so we got to do another break, right? And let me do a quick spot for our friends at Visit Lauderdale, Nikki Mohan and company at the Greater Fort Lauderdale Convention and Visitors Bureau. We love to go out with her. We do it twice a month, and we're still making arrangements for our second edition in February. We're going to be spotlighting, of course, it's Black History Month, and we like to feature all the great diversity in town and, feature Black-owned restaurants, and we'll be spotlighting another one of those. But basically Visit Lauderdale, they just want to make sure everybody knows that we welcome everyone under the sun, and that's with every dish under the sun. And that means all you foodies out there, come one, come all. Get ready to savor every flavor and every moment in Greater Fort Lauderdale, where you'll find more than 4,000 area restaurants featuring over 70 different styles, types of cuisines. And we've got from dockside dining with breathtaking views along the Intracoastal and the beach, to lively cafes along Las Olas Boulevard, to award-winning chefs serving up every cuisine imaginable, like my friend Timon Ballou over at the Catherine downtown Fort Lauderdale. He just got nominated for a Beard Award for Best Chef in the South, and you got to go check out what he's doing there. Lubie was there
Yeah,
with
they do a
his
great job.
lovely bride for, was it her birthday, right? That's where you went?
Yes, went for a birthday there. The Catherine's amazing.
Very good spot. So these are the kind of places all over Greater Fort Lauderdale. And don't forget, you can explore a thrilling nightlife scene. Check out the Visit Lauderdale Ale Trail with all the great craft breweries in town. And there's also speakeasies, rooftop bars, and expert mixologists serving up amazing cocktails. It's a never-ending culinary and libation celebration in Greater Fort Lauderdale, and everyone's invited. So for the latest deals, offers, promotions, and things going on around town, check out visitlauderdale.com.
And coming up, check out the ending of this phenomenal edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. And I say phenomenal because Guy is here. It's not because of Mayo or me.
It's not me.
Of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox on South Florida Live right after this.
Mayo here for Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Since 1951, family owned for over 70 years, the home of freshness. I've been a customer for over 3 decades, and it's the place to go for poultry, steaks, meats, and of course, their unbelievable selection of fish and seafood. They've got it all. Key West pink shrimp, grouper, snapper, lobster, and of course, Florida stone crab claws of all sizes. Don't forget their famous fish dip and a full selection of prepared foods. It's located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, just across from the Seminole Classic Casino. Owner Doug Carter and crew will take great care of you. Make sure to check out their weekly specials and daily catch online at DelawareChicken.com. Quality, value, freshness, that's the Delaware way. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. Do you like pizza? Who doesn't like pizza? Well, my spot for pizza is the Pizza Spot. It's in that little bit hard to find Riverside Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale, but it's totally easy to love. It's at 601 Southwest 12th Avenue, New Haven style, a pizza from Wade and Reese. It's a lovely outdoor spot. You could also pick up pies to go at 754 779 7788. 754 779 7788. Again, they're open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. Go to Pizza Spot. They also have subs, salads, and more. Tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. Oh, we're back on the Lunchbox with Gia sitting in for Defo. That is a trade I will take any day of the week. I think that's kind of like a LeBron for what Ronnie Cycli, maybe. I don't know, but hey, I had so much more on the agenda. Maybe we could do some lightning round here. Quickly on the Let's Eat group today, the things that's causing a lot of chatter, and somebody posted really well written thing about how she had an issue at a really good restaurant. They went the other night and everything was not good. But instead of just immediately going to the megaphone of social media and going on, full blast, she ended up sleeping on it, realizing, I'm really not satisfied. And she reached out to the management of the restaurant by email. And a day later, the manager got in touch and made things right. I probably offered a make good, come back, or who knows. But she just posted about isn't it better to just do it this way instead of your first instinct, running off and screaming about it to 98,000 people who can't do a darn thing about it, as opposed to going to somebody who could do something about it and not making it so public and visible. And I just said 100% this. Cheers. Yep. Thank you. And, a lot of people now, there's a fear of you don't have to call a manager that night if people are intimidated. They don't like confrontation. They, the whole being labeled a Karen and Ken thing, which is so stupid because that was not even the original intent of a Karen. Was more of a racial thing. But what do you think? Yeah. I mean,
I celebrate. No, I have no. And I celebrate what they did. I think it's the right thing to do. You take a minute, but even so I have eaten at not in this region, 2 separate Asian restaurants with the exact same dish and failed twice. I've crunched on pebbles. Which, by the way, I'm aware that happens sometimes. You're dealing with fresh vegetables.
Rock shrimp?
It wasn't rock shrimp. God, it's a terrible joke.
Dad joke. I'm the dad here.
Kung Pao chicken or something like that, but there was a lot of vegetables in the mix. I wish I could remember the dishes, but they were both the exact same one. Crunch, pebble, crap. Pull it out of the mouth, realize what it is. There's a very standard thing to do, or a decent thing to do. You get up, you locate a manager, you pull them aside quietly. We don't need to make a big deal about this. I'm cool. No one's hurt, but this happened. We don't need to say anything more. And if you're decent about it, and I was, you get the meal comped, which is not my intent. You just have to let them know.
Yeah.
It's worked for me. Sometimes just being nice about it, being quiet.
Yeah, it's not even the full meal as long as you just take away that dish and comp drinks or whatever. It's, there's different ways different places can try to, atone for an unfortunate incident. But as long as they're trying and as long as I think just people want acknowledgement, and that's the main key. Yep. And again, I understand if you try to get something taken care of and you try to do it, on the sly, or, just kind of do it the proper way in a more discreet way, and the restaurant completely blows you off, then by all means
You
go
take the
get the
next step.
megaphones and come on to Let's Eat and go on to Yelp if you're into that sort
But
of thing.
people are interested now in making, maybe a few bad apples have created the Ken and Karen phenomenon where
Yep.
these people, they want retribution. They want it now.
I
You
want
caught my meal now.
compensation. I
I
want
want
retribution. I want
I
scalps. I want it now. No, it's
Exactly,
terrible.
people are
But
doing that though, and
now,
people wanna be heard, and I understand that, but we have lost our ability to be discreet, because
Yep.
when something happens to us, we take it so deeply personally. "The bread was
you
dry,
know,
this chicken is inedible, we've gotta shut them down!"
I read something interesting the other day, and I forget where it was, in what context, about where the decline of Western civilization could be pinpointed. Just the fact of total breakdown in social norms and manners, um,
I have a
and
few
people coming
ideas.
up to me. I don't know if I told you this story about, when I was surrounded by food at the new Runway 84 last week and chatting up a couple of friends that I was sitting next to that I just happened to run into, and this guy comes up to me and says, food tastes better with exercise, and basically taking a shot at me for being a fat guy. But the point is, somebody described that this all started happening, and people started going to social media and screaming with the advent of reality shows, and that reality shows have now taught that bad behavior is not only
Rewarded.
yeah, it's rewarded. It's a lucrative field, and that the more outrageous you act, and more, antisocial, just breaking down what's considered to be social norms or just decency, that's no longer with us. Now, really quick pivoting, because I got to do one more spot, and we are all hitting overtime. But the last thing is, going to the right, going to management discreetly and doing things the right way, having it taken care of. Then there's the opposite of the people. There was a post earlier this week about an experience at I'm going to say it, Cafe Martorano, which is known for being a place where it's their way or the highway. It's Chef Steve Martorano. He's a character, big burly guy, Italian American from Philadelphia, and Yo Cuz is his signature line. And they pride themselves on doing it their way, and they don't care what you want as a customer. And basically, they treat customers like, that I say, like, not dirt, but not very well. And it amazes me, because some of these places that it's their way or the highway. And this guy who posted, he had gone there 15 years ago, had a negative experience, and didn't go back. But now, 15 years later, he decided to, let's try it once again. And he said the food's okay, but just the way that they go about things, they wanted to have 3 different courses: appetizer, salad, and mains. And they said, no, you only get 2 courses here. And they just slapped out everything all at once. And it was a big, ugly mess. And he was like, now I remember why I never went back 15 years ago. And it lit up a whole firestorm. Some people love it, and some people go there all the time and say the food is great. But a lot of people saying, I don't need to be treated that way at outrageous prices. And I know there's a couple of places like that in Miami too. Gia, what do you think? Do people are they just masochists? Are these the same people
I
that
was
hire
literally gonna say
dominatrixes?
that. I was some people look, some people enjoy getting treated like garbage, and then it gives them the validation to, like, hem and haw and make a big deal about, something. But, and I was just thinking of that, that cliche, the customer is always right. To be fair, the customer is not always right. Sometimes the customer just sucks.
Yep.
But, to go in there, if you go in there knowing that there's going to be a specific set of rules to follow, we don't do substitutions. This is what you get. There's no courses. The food comes out this way. I'm sorry if you don't like it. There's a place across the street or whatever that'll
Yeah,
accommodate you. Or there's always, whatever. You're walking in knowing exactly what you're getting. So,
right.
to react negatively about it later, dude, you weren't, there was no veil, like, that was like ripped
Right.
off of you. You knew.
It is what it
Um,
is, and it's not for everybody. And places like this are essentially, they're culling and curating their customers. The ones that accept them for the way they
Yep.
do things will keep coming back, and the ones who don't will badmouth it and stay away 15 years at a time. And the thing is, there's enough to go around, enough restaurants, and enough people that places like this can thrive and survive. And I applaud Steve Martorano for. He does it his way. He has a good time. He spins the disco, the nightclub atmosphere with the later on at night with the blasting the music. It's not my particular style. I like some of his food. I don't like the prices of it, but again, like you said, it's there's enough to go around.
I mean, it's the beauty of being here, we have
Yes, we have everything.
tens of thousands of restaurants to choose from, and you might find something very similar to that at, another place that might accommodate your side salad.
And the one last topic we didn't hit today that I wanted to, but there was a thread about a guy was all incensed because he went online for this seafood place and saw menu prices for stone crabs, which shocked me because no restaurant should put usually it's always market price and it's highly fluctuating. But he was all outraged because he went to the restaurant and instead of getting a colossal stone crab for $39 a pound, which that website must be from 10 years ago because now they're up to like at a restaurant $85 a pound or whatever. But just quickly, I mean, what do you think? Is people just have to shouldn't they realize that it's what counts is what's in front of you at the restaurant, the menu, and don't depend on a website to get accurate information, or should
Well,
people expect?
people should expect accuracy from a website menu, of course, but it's the same thing too. Another cliche, if it's too good to be true, probably is. I went to Joe's to celebrate my engagement, knowing that we were getting stone crabs, knowing that we were going to be in it for, several $100s at a minimum. And guess what? We were over that. And the damn stone crab, what do you expect? It's not going to be $5 a pound. I mean, this isn't yesteryear.
Look, and a lot of the websites aren't kept up to date, and they should be. But just because it's not doesn't mean you go, aha.
Well, I mean, also, by the way, you're reading something, you think the price is that really $40 a pound? That doesn't seem right. Get on the damn phone. Call the restaurant. Call whoever. Hey, just want to double check. I saw on the website. Oh no, sorry, we haven't updated that in 16 years. It's now $65.
I think some of these restaurants should just pull the websites if they can't maintain them in a timely way and just put updated menus and prices on either a Facebook page, which seems to be a lot more fluid, or an Instagram page, which is what a lot of restaurants are doing now. I see there's some questions on the chat line. This isn't the place for it. I can't get into it today. Best Rodizio in South Florida, best Sunday brunch. Go on to the Let's Eat South Florida Facebook group, create a post, and or use the search bar better, because a lot of these things have been asked many, many times. Best Sunday brunch. I do now like the 10 Palms brunch buffet because they're a sponsor at Gulfstream. I also, if you're willing to blow the bank, you can go up to the Breakers Hotel in Palm Beach, or go to the Hard Rock, where the Curro Sunday brunch buffet is now up to $125, but it's well worth the money because you're getting premium products and you could eat your way and drink your way to that $125 pretty easily, from what you would spend comparably at a nice restaurant anywhere in town a la carte. So, all right. And I didn't put in the good word. Valentine's Day is over, but it's still a great time to go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse at 2500 Griffin Road, because when it's not a special occasion, that's when you get the greatest value. Well, special occasion or any occasion, you get great value there. But like on a given night where you could get the happy hour on the bar where you get half price drinks, I get my Belvedere martinis for $7.50 or $8. It's unbelievable. The great light bites. And they have the half price wine night every Monday and Tuesday, which is also spectacular. You get some of these great bottles, which are already low price. You get them for like $25 for a really good bottle of Cabernet or Merlot. Go into Tropical Acres. They are open every day but Sunday. Tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. And don't forget, they also have a butcher shop where you could buy great steaks, the stuff, their filet mignon and other cuts of beef that they're famous for, to grill at home if you need it. 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Okay, that's going to do it. We went way over time, but that's okay because we're talking, we're having fun, and we are not constrained by the borders of commercial radio or anything else. It's on our own imaginations. And pretty soon, I've got people are clamoring to, do more things with us and maybe have more sponsors come. We might have to expand soon to 90 minutes.
I'm all into doing more.
If we do that, maybe we'll have to bring Gia on board as a part-time contributor.
She was great.
Yeah. No,
anything you guys need, I love you.
All right. Thanks. It's great to see you, Gia. Hopefully I'll see you in
Lubie. Oh my God. Amazing to see you.
You look great. Congratulations to you and your fiance.
Thank you.
Wedding planning journey. Good luck.
One of these years.
And all good. And talk about letdowns tomorrow. Defo's back. All right. No, we love Defo. Hopefully he gets home safely and with some money in his pockets. And of course, tomorrow is going to be the, I guess, talking a little bit dirty dining with Jeff Weinzier from Channel 10, along with somebody who just got dinged by the health department and then also featured, spotlighted on that segment, Joe Lay from Esposito's Pizza, where I enjoyed my pizzas yesterday. So that's going to do it for today. Tune in tomorrow, back at our regular time, noon. Until then, for Lubie and Ia, I'm Mike Mayo saying, remember to enjoy every sandwich.